A beautiful evening to you out there, and welcome to yet another edition of Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television and Network. My name is Emmanuel Michael. I'm glad to be here this evening to bring you all the latest and electrifying juicy stories making around in the ever-busy world of sport. And on the show this evening, Liverpool coach talking about Anslot is talking of his attribute Liverpool's success so far to hard work and not luck. Neymar also makes a return for the Senegal national team squad ahead of their World Cup qualifier. Plus, Ethan Nwaneri is eligible to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Details of this and many more is going to form the bulk of our conversation right here this evening. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back in a jiffy. All right, welcome back from that short break. Let's get started this evening. Because in the building with me this evening to do justice to some of these topical issues that we shall be dissecting is Lamasia. Lamasia, good evening and welcome to Sport Extraordinary.
Good evening, Manuel. Good evening, our fans. It's a beautiful evening to talk sports. I'm so excited to do it with you.
So excited, of course, indeed, as always, to do this right here on Atlantic Television Network. Let's get started from the world of football this evening because Rangers international midfielder Kazim Ogunleye has penned an emotional farewell message to club after completing a move to Albanian club FK Partizani. Ogunleye joined the Red Bulls for 4 years deal on Thursday. He held a super antelope of LPFL team for 3 good years before leaving in this very season. But Lamesia, let me quickly turn to you. Ogunleye leaving Rangers International at this very critical juncture. Don't forget, Rangers are seated 5th in the Nigerian Premier Football League table with 11 games to go. Is this a wise decision to let one of your key players to leave?
It's not a wise decision, but I think the decision was made in favor of actually will affect his playing career in the future. So that was why he took the opportunity. The decision is not in favor of Rangers of Enugu. Rather, I can see that decision in favor of his personal goal because he wants to play abroad. So when the decision came, notwithstanding the time it came, he decided to grab the opportunity. So I think the opportunity was for him to make sure he plays outside the shores of Nigeria. But for the club, Enugu Rangers, I think it's going to put them in a very tight corner because this is one of their key players. He has played for Rangers for 3 good seasons and he has been a very, very good and fantastic player. So I think the essence of him leaving was basically to help his playing career outside the shores of Nigeria.
Of course, Ogunleye leaving Enugu Rangers this season before the end of the 2024-2025 Nigerian Premier Football League season is based on self-development and a bid to go and look for white-collar job or to head overseas, to continue his talent out there. But then I tell you, for me, I do not think this is a wise decision to let him go at this point in time. when Enugu Rangers is also chasing for the title. Don't forget that Enugu Rangers is a defending champion. La Masia, with Ogunleye leaving Rangers International at this point in time, is there still any realistic chance of Enugu Rangers defending their title successfully? With 12 points away from the league leaders.
The group leaders, talking about Remo Stars, are 11 points ahead of Rivers United, second in position. And we're talking about Rangers United. Just this week, Philip George, coach of Rivers United, told us that he can usurp, Remo Stars by winning the trophy. But I think that is a kind of motivational talk to the fans. So, if Rivers United, in my own rating, cannot achieve this, will it be Rangers of Enugu, who is third or fourth below, on the league log? So the truth is that it's not going to be very, very possible. It's not going to be possible at all. This season, I have given it to Remo Stars for all they have done, for all they have, contributed. I think this is their season. So for Rangers of Enugu, that they can turn, everything upside down and win the league, for me, is quite impossible. The truth remains that letting Ogunleye leave definitely will have a negative toll on them. But certainly, they will not, I repeat, they will not be close to winning the league that they won last season. So I think whether Ogunleye is around or whether he's not around, they have no chance at all, to match Remo Stars, who are currently the league leaders. So I think it's done and dusted for Remo Stars to win the league this season.
Done and dusted for Enugu Rangers for winning the league or defending the title that they won last season successfully. But I tell you, impossibility is nothing in the world of football. With just 12 points adrift of the league leaders, talking about Remo Stars, and 11 games to go, I tell you, everything is still very much possible. But letting one of your key players to leave at this point in time could prove very, very, difficult in their bid to defend the title they won last season successfully. But let's leave Enugu Rangers and head to Europe, because there is a cheering news coming in from England, as Arsenal new kid on the block, Ethan Nwaneri, has left his international future wide open, as he is said to be open to playing for either the Super Eagles or England. Born to a Nigerian father and English mother, Nwaneri is eligible to play for both countries. And the latest hint suggests that the 17-year-old will represent the country, of his firstborn, talking about his father's land. Okay, let me hold it there. La Masia, Ethan Nwaneri, the new kid on the block for Arsenal, open to represent the Super Eagles. What do you think that the NFF should be doing right now?
Well, we've seen the performance of Ethan at Arsenal. He has been a very, very fantastic player. He has, so much years in his hands, and he has proven beyond every reasonable doubt that he is a good player. So I think making his nationality, like football nationality, open, I think is a good one. And it is high time the Super Eagles of Nigeria administrators, choose this guy immediately. He have to be approached, because we need him in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's a player who has proven himself beyond every reasonable doubt. We don't have doubt over his future. So what I believe now is that the Super Eagles of Nigeria should do the necessary steps. They should make the necessary steps. They should approach him before he be taken by the Three Lions of England. And we have lost so many players to England. Bukayo Saka, a time came, there were chances of him playing to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But today he's a formidable force in the English national team. So I think the administrators of the Super Eagles of Nigeria should do the needful by approaching Ethan Nwaneri and give him a call-up to play in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think if that is done, Nigerians will be happy. Nigerians will celebrate their arrival, and I'm sure he will have something very, very fantastic in football to give to the teaming fans of the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Nigeria at large.
Meanwhile, aside from Nwaneri's closest example, other Nigerian players that have made the switch for the foreign countries include William Strauss Ekong, Ola Aina, Calvin Bassett, and the reigning African Footballer of the Year, talking about Lukman Demola, among others. And now, if you take a look at the prowess, what this young talent has done so far for the Gunners in the English Premier League, do you think that if it comes to the Super Eagles, does it have any chance at all of benching players like Samuel Chukwueze, who have been there in the national team for a very long time?
Well, it's not all about benching players. It's all about proving yourself in the team. There is nobody with a very specific JC number. Nobody is glued to a particular position in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's all about your impact and input in the game. If you are standing, definitely the coach will select you for the match. Okay, there is nobody with a designated this person must play this number, this position. No. If Ethan area arrives, in the team and he proves himself better, definitely you have to start. That we shouldn't be thinking about who to bench or who not to bench. What we should be talking about here is that if he performs very well, he should be allowed to play. It should be open for everybody. So nobody should say this is my way. Nobody has a permanent position in the Super Eagles of Nigerian squad. All we are saying is that if you merit your position, if you deserve your position, that should be given to you. And I think if he arrives in the team and do better, certainly, the coach will give him the playing time that he deserves. So certainly, I want him to come around. I need to see him. Nigerians are actually waiting for him.
Nigerians are actually waiting for Ethan Nwaneri to make that switch, and represent his father's land. But Lamasia, let's still stick with the story of Ethan Nwaneri.
Okay.
Now, his father is a Nigerian,
and
his mother is an English woman.
Certainly.
That means he's eligible to represent Nigeria, also eligible to represent the English national team. Now, if by peradventure we did not make that bold step talking about the NFF to invite him, do you think it would be a wise decision for him to switch allegiance to England? Looking at the track record of Nigerian decent players that have represented England, the likes of Gabriel Agbolanho, of course you should know him, got 1 or 2 playing time, they abandoned him. Tammy Abraham, Tomori, to mention but a few, they just cap you and let you go. They no longer use you. Do you think it would be a wise decision for him to switch allegiance to England, or his focus should be about representing Nigeria?
Well, he has made it open that for now he is open to playing either for Nigeria or England, depending on the first to approach him. And like I said, it will be making a lot of sense. It will make a lot of sense. It will be very, very key if the NFF, our football administrators, can approach him now. He has given us the assurance that he can play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And if we delay and the 3 Lions of England approach him, certainly he will do well. Now, you made mention of some players who, received call-up to play for England and flopped, right?
Not flopping, but after being capped 1 or 2 times, they just abandon you.
Abandon you because you flopped. If you are consistent, if you are doing very well, you will not be abandoned. So a player can abandon when another alternative is doing better than you. So irrespective of your descent, you will be dropped. But I think the case of Ethan Nwaneri should be different, because if he do well in England, he will not be dropped. But if he flop, definitely he will follow the step of others who flopped and were dropped. So the Ethan, for me, is a very, very bright future. He has the qualities required for a player of a professional caliber. So I think it will be very, very wise if our football administrator, the NFF, can approach him now, convince him, and allow him to play for Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think it will go a long way to helping our football in this country. And again, I think he has another way of, being on his own part positively. Because if he plays for Nigeria and do well, certainly he will have the opportunity to be called up on games. But I'm not certain that will be the same case if he's been invited by the 3 Lions of England. So he has more opportunity to play for Super Eagles of Nigeria and see more matches than when he will be invited to play for the Trinidad Lions of England, because he may not be opportune to play, to be regular, depending the quality of players, considering the quality of players in the Lions of England. But what I'm saying in summary is that if he performs very well, whether in England or in Nigeria, he will play very well. Okay, him being dropped will be determined by his performance. And Ethan Nwaneri, for me, I tell you, is a very fantastic player. So in summary, I am calling on the administrators of NFF to please quicken this move. Call up this guy. We need him in the national team. That's all the truth. We don't want to miss him.
Of course, we don't want to miss such talent such as Ethan Nwaneri. Don't forget, Alex Iwobi was also spotted while playing for Arsenal before he got that call up for the Super Eagles. The likes of Lukman Ademola, Calvin Bassey, just to mention but a few, through Ekong. These are players that also change their mind to represent their father's land. And today, they could say they are well fulfilled because some of them have won the African Cup of Nations, doing great things. The last African player of the year is currently being held by Lukman Ademola. We hope that Ethan Nwaneri is able to do the needful. But then, bulk of the work rests on our NFF, talking about the administrators, which Lamasia talked about the likes of Ibrahim Busso, Bukola Olakpade Ako. They should do everything possible, to make that bold step to ensure that Ethan Nwaneri represent his father's land. Away from that, let's talk some tennis news this evening on the show, because a tearful Nikirios was forced to retire from his first round Indian Wells match with a wrist injury as his tennis return suffered yet another back. The Australian playing his first match since January's Australian Open, Trey Botic Van Zekop 7-6, 3-0 before ending the match earlier. Kyrgios became visibly upset when speaking to the trainer about his right wrist in that 21. Okay, Lamasia, Kyrgios, another big blow in his bid to come back in the world of tennis. We saw him shedding tears. What do you make of the injury concern for this man? At 29, do you think that he still has what it takes to overcome all these injuries and come back to recording once more?
Well, talking about Nikirios, I think so much. It's just very unfortunate that he suffered that injury blow. At 29, he should be at the peak of his game. He should be, a master of his game. He should be there to fight for every title at all, on his way. But unfortunately, just the beginning of the season, he's been rocked an injury. Injuries are inevitable. They are part of the games. And when it comes your way, definitely you have to accept it and make sure you come back better and stronger. So that was the case of Nikirios. I actually felt very bad for the injuries he sustained, because the whole world want to see him play. He's very, very energetic and a fantastic player to watch. Somebody who is actually ostentatious in his voice, very, very audible, and someone who can actually, create a very, very important scene for the fans to see. And unfortunately, he's been rocked with an injury. What can I say? I wish him quick recovery, and maybe he bounced back stronger and better. But unfortunately, the injury is just there for him. You just have to cope and advise properly, take the right diet, do the necessary exercises, come back better. The first one to see him play.
Meanwhile, the 29-year-old also struggled with knee and foot injuries over the last 18 months period before making his return at the start of the year at the Australian Open. Now, at the age of 29, with this recurrent injury here and there, would it be wise to say that he should just retire, or you think that it is too early call to make at this point in time?
It is an early call for me. This young man has been very, very fantastic, no doubt. He's among the big wings in tennis. I think he has more to prove to the world and to his fans that he can win titles, So I want to support the call for him to call it quit, to retire. He should continue to fight. And as soon as there is strength, as soon as there is energy to do that, he can only retire when he's no longer, functioning at his peak, when he's no longer available mentally and emotionally to play. But for now, I think just an injury, worry for him. So if he can defeat injury, he should believe himself. Defeat injury. Injuries come and go. I know there are big blows to big names like him, but certainly he will bounce back. So I don't want to join the call for him to retire. He has more to prove to the world of tennis that he can win trophies. He can entertain his fans globally.
Of course, we had a call out there from Marcia to Nikiro that it is not yet time for him to throw in the towel, because to him, I think that he still has much to offer in the world of tennis. So we wish him quick recovery in that very well. But moving on to the world of Formula One, this evening, U.S. car giant General Motors has said its Formula One entry for the 2026 season formally approved. It will name the new team after its luxury Cadillac brand. The decision to approve GM's bid come just over 2 months after the company reached an agreement in principle with Formula One to enter the sport next year. Formula One had previously rejected a bid from the US team Andretti, which was linked to Cadillac, but the greater commitment of GM in a new proposal put forward later in the year has convinced Formula One to admit Cadillac in the Formula One sport competition. La Masia, GM, a US
have all it takes to write their names, in gold. Cadillac actually coming up to compete. I think it's a good news. It's open. It's very, very competitive. Constructors who are able to meet up with the requirements and have what it takes to compete favorably should be allowed, and that is what we are seeing. And the good news is that there have been, the agreement has been agreed. The agreement has been reached and agreed in principle, meaning that come 2026, we are going to see GM with Cadillac, competing favorably amongst the likes of Mercedes and the rest of them. So for me, it's a good one. Since they were able to meet up the requirement, since they have the, one of the best constructors, and we can only judge them from their performance. So let's give them this opportunity to function. Let's give them the opportunity to actually compete, and who knows, they might even compete. So it will be something wonderful to see them competing with the likes of Mercedes and the rest. So the good news is that they have come to stay, and they have come to stay. So let's believe in them and see how they function come year 2026.
And of course, for the MG Motor Company that all the way from USA bidding to enter the Formula One race, we hope that they have the quality, what it takes, to also compete at the highest level against McLaren, Mercedes, and all the big constructors in the Formula One Cup next season. But at this point, we'll take a quick break. When we are back, we'll get straight back to the world of football. Don't go anywhere.
The board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network and Wish 99.5 FM. Theme: Imperative of Private Media in Sustainable Development.
Keynote speaker, Professor Tony Iredia, erudite scholar and broadcast guru. Chairman, Professor Umar Pat, President, Society of Broadcasters, Nigeria, and Vice Chancellor at University of Kashiri, Gombe State. Panelists: Chief Honorable Arthur C. Kalabo, Information and Communication Expert. Dr. Harker Dwight, Lecturer, Public Relations, Media and Communication. Dr. Bekwele Lawrence D.K., Lecturer, Marketing Communication and Public Relations. Opaka Dakuba, Chairman, South-South, Nigerian Union of Journalists. Susan Serekara Nwikana, Chairperson, Nawach, River State. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, FSM, FIMC, FNIMN, MNIM, ARPA, MIPPA. Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, 10th of March 2025. Venue, Dimeji Banquet Hall, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5 East West Road by Obirikwere Flyover, Rumasi, Port Harcourt. Time is 11 a.m.
Call Kehinde Paul Obofadi on 0802 301 5728. That is 0802 301 5728 or info@atlanticnetwork.tv or info@wishfm995ph.com. You can also call Laurentia Ogu on 0818 344 6746. That is 0818 344 6746 or lead content at atlanticnetwork.tv. This is signed by management.
Welcome back from that short break. We are still on to Atlantic Television Network Sport Extraordinary, and together in the building with me, Lamasia, we are doing justice to some of these electrifying and juicy stories coming in from the world of sports this evening. Don't also forget the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network, and which 99.5 FM comes for this morning. That is on the 10th. You know, there you get to see some media gurus be part and parcel of that very one. You're also invited. But don't also forget that we told you that Liverpool coach is saying that it is not luck at all that have actually propelled Liverpool to where they are this season in the English Premier League and the UEFA Champions League. Then again, Neymar makes a return for the Senegal national team, and we also told you how Ethan Nwaneri is open to switching allegiance to represent his fatherland, which is the Super Eagles. But let's get on with some of the stories this evening, as Neymar has been recalled to the Brazil squad after a 17-month absence for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Colombia and Argentina. The Santos forward has not featured for the Selecao since sustaining a knee injury against Uruguay in October 2023. However, after an underwhelming spell at the Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal, he has caught the eyes since moving back to his boyhood club in January. The 33-year-old has registered 3 goals and 3 assists in 7 appearances in the Brazil Top Flight League. La Masia, Neymar Jr. making a
speak. Neymar had registered 3 goals and 3 assists for Santos of Brazil, and that is a huge impact on his part, and that is why he has received that call-up. I think it's a deserving one. We are going to see the better part of Neymar. He is a player that injury has cut short of, you know, the things he deserves in football. So many things, you know, have been. So many things has happened. Yeah, so many things have been attributed to what happened. But the good news now is that Neymar is back to playing football. Neymar has returned to his country, Brazil. Neymar has returned to his boys' club, Santos. And Neymar definitely will contribute meaningfully to the national team of Brazil. So calling him up is a good development. I think is a very wonderful thing. They just want to see him play more. Brazilians are yearning for his return, and he has returned. So from now, let's see the better part of Neymar Jr.
Of course, let's see the better part of Neymar Jr. in this very return. Meanwhile, only Cafu has made a more cap appearance for the national team, closely followed by Messi on 120, closely followed by Neymar rather on 128 appearance. And of course, Neymar is the all-time highest scorer for the Selecao national team with about 79 goals. I tell you, he truly deserves to make the, you know, that very squad. Brazil are 5th in the CONMEBOL table in the with 18 points from 12 games. They host Colombia on the 21st of March, and then visit leaders Argentina 5 days later. Meanwhile, Liverpool and Manchester City goalkeeper Alisson Becker and Ederson among a 10-strong contingent for the Premier League players included in Dorival's Juniors squad. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest centre-back Gabriel Amorillo have also been picked, along with Wolves' duo of Andre and Matheus Cunha, and the Newcastle pair of Bruno Guimaraes and Jolinton. Brighton Joe Pedro and Manchester City winger Savinho are among the attacking options for the Brazil national team. Now, if take a look at the players called up for the Selecao national team for this World Cup qualifier, it looked like a very strong squad. Don't you think that this is the squad that can be able to turn things around for them? Because as it is, they need all 3 points in this game.
Well, Brazil has been a country blessed with wonderful sport anytime, any day.
True.
Even from the early 80s and 90s, Brazil has been a country with one of the best sport in the world. But currently, what I believe should be their problem is the ability to, incorporate these players to forming a team. We've seen more of individual players in Brazil. So now we want to see a team called Brazil, a team that can come up and defeat any team. They have the skills, the quality. The names are there. We're looking at a coach who can unite these players, unify them, and get the best part of them. So if that is done, I think Brazil, nothing stops Brazil. They are in a very wonderful part. So it will be very, very easy for them to come against and win any team that can come before them. So I think what is important here is uniting the team, unifying them, not allowing them to play individually. Let them play as a team. And if that is achieved, certainly they will win their matches with ease rather.
Of course, if they collaborate to synergize among these great individual talented players that the Selecao has, I tell you, it's going to be a massive game for them against Colombia, and then their leaders, the group leaders out there talking about Argentina. These two games are very, very powerful games that Brazil need all 3 points. All right, let's head straight to Liverpool, because their coach is talking tough as Liverpool boss and slot drew on a quote from basketball legend Michael Jordan as he addressed claims suggesting the runaway Premier League leaders have enjoyed their good fortune of late. The Red escaped with a 1-0 win against Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday in the first leg of their last 16 tie in the UEFA Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain dominated the Reds at the Parc des Princes and had 27 shots, but found goalkeeper Alisson Becker in an inspirational form before Harvey Elliott grabbed a late winner for the visitor. La Masia, the man and slot, it's more like contradicting his statement. A few days ago, after they won the game against Paris Saint-Germain, he said that it was a lock. Now,
they are lucky.
Yeah, he said that we were lucky, but now he's reversing the statement. This is more like a counterintuitive statement. At first, you admitted that you were lucky to go home with the victory. Now, he's saying that it is hard work and a bit of, how do you explain, and slot statements?
Well, one thing is outstanding, one thing is open, one thing is very clear. And that is to say, Liverpool this season has been outstanding. Yeah, most of their winning, you may not attribute it to luck. You can say that this team have worked so hard to achieve whatever they have achieved this season. They have worked so hard to achieve their current position this season, even in the Champions League and the EPL. But you cannot take away luck in football. Sometimes luck plays and shines for you. You play the worst kind of football, and with just one chance, you're able to convert. Sometimes a team plays and has so many scoring chances, and none is converted. Just like what happened between Liverpool and PSG at the
Parc des Princes.
Parc des Princes. You see, PSG, did everything to win Liverpool. They were better in all ramifications. But the only chance Liverpool got in that match, they converted it. And that changed the result of the game, to their own good, in favor of them. So, before I make mention of luck, it is important to say, first off, you must work hard before you can expect luck. Luck comes to shine what you have done. Luck comes to make it easier for you when you have worked hard. Okay? So you can't, be doing what you're not supposed to do. You can't be lagging behind and you expect luck to shine for you. No. Luck can be celebrated when definitely you are doing the right thing. Firing from all cylinders. So Liverpool, you cannot take away luck from the achievement this season. But luck I'm saying shined based on their hard work. So I am combining it, hard work and luck. You can't take away luck from it. That was why he said previously before now that they were lucky. And now you're telling us that the achievement this season is just is because of hard work. So it will be difficult to, separate these two. They are intertwining. Luck and hard work in this regard now are intertwining. So you can't separate them. Liverpool have been outstanding, no doubt. They have been wonderful, no doubt. But they have also enjoyed some lucks in football. A good example is their last match against PSG. Alisson Becker has several saves, right? Even the one we thought was inside the net. We discovered that at the end of the day,
he carried it away.
He carried it away. So it wasn't because of how excellent he was, right? Even though he was excellent, but I want to say here that luck played in their favor, and that does it. So you can't separate it for Liverpool this season. When you mention Liverpool, hard work and luck, it just worked for them.
All right, hard work and luck actually combined together to give Liverpool the needed result against Paris Saint-Germain that actually pushed them back against the wall. In fact, they literally defended right from the blast of the whistle, till the end. 27 shots for Paris Saint-Germain, 10 on target, just one shot from Liverpool, and that was it. So Master is saying luck, a combination of hard work actually gifted them that victory out there. What do you make of this? Do you think that there's anything called luck in football, or not? But all right, we'll leave it there and head to other stories this evening, because there's a lot on our menu. As Real Sociedad, Mikel Oyarzabal calmly converted a penalty to secure a 1-1 draw against Manchester United in the first leg of the Europa last 16 clash on Thursday. The Red Devils are enjoying a dismal season, so far, with winning the competition their own realistic route for Champions League football come next year. The winner of the tie will face either Fenerbahce or Lyon in that very one. La Masia, Manchester United have been very dismal so far this season in the league, but in the Europa they seem to be doing pretty well. What is the difference between the Europa and the league? Why they have struggled? Then they are doing pretty well, going away from home to get a 1-1 draw against Real Sociedad.
I think the only difference there is the motivation, and also when we talk about the Europa League, it is a European competition.
Okay.
There are so many unknown enemies, unknown foes. So when you play those unknown foes, you consider that your pedigree, your experience, and that gives you an edge over them. But when you come to the league, it's a kind of family matters. Your brothers knows you very well. They know your weakness, so they want to attack you, and when you are, most times they succeed. Just like Real Madrid, in La Liga this season. You see how they are struggling, in La Liga. But when they come to Champions League, they play with a different spirit. They play with a different motivation. So I think that's what actually is played out of Manchester United. Manchester United is so they played against Real Sociedad. When you compare the two, you see that it's a very, very dicey situation. Real Sociedad in Spain for some time now, I'm not saying they are doing badly, but comparing their performance this season with Manchester United, they are doing better in their own league, more than what Manchester United is doing in England. But certainly, when you are playing in the European scene, you play with confidence, considering your pedigree. That is what actually happened with Manchester United.
All right, in other results coming in from the Europa games last night, saw is Akma, defeating Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 at home. Then CSB also lost at home to Lyon 3-1. Fenerbahce were beaten at home by Rangers 3-1. Real Sociedad, like we told you, played 1-1 against Manchester United. AS Roma defeated Atletico Bilbao 2-1, while Ajax lost at home to Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1. Bodo Glimt defeated Olympiacos 3-0. Victoria Plzeň lost at home to Lazio as well. In the Conference League, talking about the third tier of the European football, Chelsea got a better of Copenhagen 2-1. It ended, while Bodo Glimt also defeated Liga Warsaw 3-2. Panathinaikos defeated Fiorentina 3-2 as well. Real Sociedad were held at home by Victoria de Guimarães 2-2. It ended, while Borac Banja Luka played 1-1 against Rapid Vienna in that very one. Celje defeated Lugano 1-0. Pafos defeated Jardin 1-0 in that very one. Copenhagen, like I told you, lost to Chelsea Football Club. But then this evening there are some Bundesliga games. We are going to see Borussia Mönchengladbach welcoming Mainz this evening, and in the Italian Serie A, we'll see Cagliari playing host to Genoa, and in League One, Toulouse will be hoping not to lose this evening against AS Monaco. These are some of the games that is going to go down this evening across Europe top 5 leagues. Well, Amasia, before we leave, Chelsea against Copenhagen, they got the better of Copenhagen 2-1. Is Chelsea poised to win the Conference League? Just 1 minute before we leave.
Yeah, I think Chelsea has the arsenals. They have the quality. They have the players to win the Conference League. So it won't be a surprise to me that Chelsea, at the end of the day, won the Conference League. Chelsea has won the Champions League. So if they have won the Champions League, winning the Conference League will not be a big deal per se. So I think what they are doing, they can win the Conference League.
Of course, with what Chelsea are doing, there is this hope from La Masia that they may win the Conference League. And if they do, they will become the only European club to win all the 3 UEFA competition. Talking about club football, they won the UEFA Champions League, the Europa. Then if they get to win the Conference League, they become the only club to have won all 3 UEFA competition in that very one. But this is where we drop the anchor on today's edition of the show. Don't forget, I did the show alongside La Masia. My name is Emmanuel Michael, the Prime Minister of the Airways. Tomorrow morning we'll be back here for Sport Personalities 7 to 8 a.m. It promises to be another Mazalin showcase of glorious sport personnel in that very one. Peace and unity remains the pathway to progress. Always enjoy here on Atlantic Television Network. Gracias.
The board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network and wish